Hi everyone, my name is Nada from 12G1, and today I'll be explaining parts of the brain and how they look from different regions as coronal, sagittal, and axial parts. So first of all, I'll start by showing the brainstem. So this is how the brainstem shows from the coronal part, and here from the sagittal part, and then this small purple thing is the brainstem from the axial part. And then if we come and read about the brainstem, as we can see here, the brainstem is responsible for the sensory communication between the brain and the body. And yeah, so if we want to move on to the cerebellum, this is the cerebellum from the coronal side, and here it is the green part from the sagittal part, and this whole thing is also the cerebellum from the axial part. And again, when we come and read about it, here we go, the cerebellum is much tighter and more regular, like an accordion, and yeah, it sits just beneath the cerebellum. And then if you want to move on to the frontal lobe, this is how the frontal lobe looks from the coronal side, sagittal, and axial. And the frontal lobe, the frontal lobe is separated from the parietal lobe by the central sulcus. And then when we move to the hypothalamus, this is the hypothalamus from the coronal side, sagittal, and axial. So the hypothalamus is about the size of a pearl, and it's primarily responsible for controlling body temperature, hunger, thirst, fatigue, sleep, and other stuff. Then we have the occipital lobe. Here we can see it from the coronal side, sagittal, axial, and the occipital lobe is responsible for vision. Then we have the parietal lobe, coronal again, and this is from the sagittal side, finally axial. And the parietal lobe lies on the top of the brain, and it's also responsible for vision, hearing, pain, movement, or memory. So it's responsible for the sensory. Then we can go to the thalamus. So this is the thalamus from the coronal side, sagittal, and then axial. So the thalamus, yes, the thalamus is also responsible for all senses except the smell. Finally, we have the temporal lobe. This is how it shows from the coronal side, sagittal, and axial. And the temporal lobe is it regulates emotion and motivation, and it's also a key role in long-term memory. That's it for today. Thank you for watching.